Hey everybody, so this is the 3,000 sub special. I know we're not quite at 3,000 subs, but nothing I can do. It is what it is, but I digress. Um, Basically, I just have time today and I'm kind of high energy today, so I figured, why not? Let's do it. Yes, we can. We can go on. So, before I start the actual movie, I guess just a bit of background. So, when I heard about the Rebuild movies, I was super excited. I was a massive fan of Eva growing up. Um, Big fan of it throughout high school. Just loved it. And yeah, so I actually went to an animation festival. I don't know if this is doxing or not, but I went to an animation festival when I was in university, and it was like one of the first North American premieres of both 1.0 and 2.0. Um, So yeah, so you had all that kind of stuff, and it was a lot of fun. I got to go and be one of the first people in North America to see it. It was just awesome to see it on the big screen. I was just kind of overwhelmed. Um, there was a guy who gave a speech who knew Ono, and we got to fill out postcards, and he apparently gave them to Ono. So that was pretty cool. So I got to write a postcard about how much the series meant to me and how much they kind of meant to my generation. Just kind of being a series I think really encapsulates a lot of the angst of growing up and a lot of the kind of ruin and the search for meaning in a postmodern world in which things just don't really make sense anymore. So yeah, I really enjoyed them, and then I kind of realized over time that the rebuilds were kind of shitty for a lot of reasons. I mean, they were kind of fun, but they were also pretty shitty. Um, in particular, I remember when 3.0 came out, I read like some summaries of it. And I was like, this is the worst shit possible. This is awful. Why would they make this? So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start this in three, two, one. Okay, here we go. Eva 3.0, you cannot redo. The irony of this whole thing is like a troll title because this basically reset the plot line because it completely throws out the plot line from the previous two movies. So it's basically hitting the reset button. So it's called You Cannot Redo, but the entire purpose of this movie is a redo of the franchise. So figure that one out. Um, when the title sucks, that's a problem. It's kind of like the First Order. Okay, we got Radio Chatter. This is quality content right here. We have a okay. What is that? Kind of looks like the the mass production ones. Okay. This is this how you start a franchise? I mean, there's some things that weren't really explained from the previous ending. Like Kaworu was on the moon. Are we going to reference that? Are we going to reference how Kaworu knew that this was actually a sequel to the original and not a reboot? Because he seems to remember the events of the previous series. So the rebuild is actually not a rebuild. Timestamp for those who are wondering is 2 minutes. So yeah, um, like what is this? This looks like Gundam Wing, but like with less of a plot. Okay, why is the Earth red now? Well, I don't expect an explanation, but Okay, there's Asuka. I mean, something I recognize. Maybe this movie won't be that bad. Oh, shit blew up? Okay. So I'm gonna say right away what my biggest problem with this movie is. Like without even watching it. It's in the original Evangelion, there is this sense that humanity had very limited resources. There was also a sense of the Evangelions being this like all powerful godlike entities that nothing could really stand against. That they were in a completely different level than everything else. And whenever they like had to do something, like when they were fighting Remiel and they had to get the satellite shield, it was like some cobbled together thing that they just had to try to figure out. And now we have like more than three Avas, and the Avas are implied to be so expensive it took all of humanity's resources to build them. Now we just have a shit ton of them. We just have we just have Avas coming out of our ass. And now they can all fly, now they all have S2 organs. So like part of what made the original so good was that it was kind of realistic in a way. Like they had the batteries, they had the just the complete difference. The timestamp is currently 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, so now we have some more CGI wankery. I really hate what they did with Asuka's character in this, because I think they just made her, because Asuka to me and why people like her is because she's kind of supposed to be super confident, but it hides her deep and total self-loathing and just how much she despises herself. And she and Shinji, as I kind of did in my, if you haven't watched it, I recommend it. My Shinji slash Asuka character profile are kind of supposed to be complementary. They're kind of each half of a person. But they ruined that. They got rid of the plot point that Asuka was created from the sperm donation of a Nobel Prize winner. And like part of that was supposed to be why she was so. And yes, I'm having trouble hearing this because I'm talking over it, but the dialogue isn't like good. Oh look, there's another Ava. They're just pulling these out of their asses. Despite the fact that there was another apocalypse, we can somehow build more of these super expensive things. But yeah, so that was kind of part of Asuka's personality was she was trying to act like an adult. And she had a lot of just very adult aspects to her. Yeah, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? What, there's ribbons and shit? Like like this is just like what is the point of this? I mean, this is never what Ava really was. Like in Ava, whenever there was like explosions or stuff like that, there was always these kind of I don't know, there's always kind of a context to it. Oh, Shinji's being referenced. I didn't even know he was in this movie. What the fuck? This is even like weirder than now it's like a Star Trek thing. Yeah, but so yeah, so as I was saying, so Asuka, her being like a super genius and graduating from high school was supposed to kind of highlight how she how she was just completely separate and unable to relate to anyone, but they removed that and they changed her name for no reason. So about Kaworu, I used to think Kaworu was like a good guy, but now I think he's supposed to be like a satanic like figure that he comes and gets close to you and uses kindness and uses smooth words and stuff to get inside of your head and uses that to destroy you. Shinji's like, what the fuck did they get me into this time? What person? What are they talking about? He's self aware. Yeah, so Toji's sister has grown up and become a waifu. So, I mean, that's kind of good. I kind of felt like one of the strengths of Ava was having a really tight, limited cast. And they've just shoved in characters like Mari and whatever her name is who are completely pointless. Take a sip. Like, Shinji has so much shit happen to him. People are way too mean to him. Why is he restrained? Is this going to be explained at some point why Shinji is being restrained? Probably not. Nothing in this movie is going to be explained. It's that girl. Remember her? Remember that person? Remember that guy? What the fuck happened to Misato? What? So is he a clone? Is he like the new Rei? I thought she was a major. Did they demote her after the world got blown up? Why hasn't Misato aged? I guess so she can stay waifu. That's like why she didn't age. Why? There was no interview. Oh, by the way, it's 10 minutes, 20 seconds. But there was no interview. Like, why don't they explain shit to Shinji? They're just like, Shinji, we're putting this explosive collar on you. And Shinji's like, what the fuck? And they're like, well, just screw you. Wow, Ritsuko hasn't aged well. Probably has the curse of the thought. So I guess like half of them got Curse of the Ava and the other half got the Curse of the Thought. Hey, that guy's still around. The bow is still around. Why do they have like a fleet in a pond? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so they got jets, they got helicopters. Why do they have a fleet in ice? Didn't all those battleships blow up? And sorry, just I won't reference the chat too much in this commentary, but people are saying things, and I'm like, yes, I've read the summary. I know the stuff. I'm just trying to experience this as someone who's watching it and hasn't read ahead. Look, it's another retarded Ava. Avas are no longer a super weapon that takes all of humanity's resources to build. Why is she in charge? She's like 24 years old. Why is she in charge? Remember that guy? Remember her? So, oh, what battle? What's going on? So I'll talk about Shinji a bit later and why I get tired of people taking pot shots at him. Um, like, what is. I don't know, it's not going to be explained. I mean, in the original series, it was kind of like a lot of the mystery was there because it was supposed to be through the eyes of the children, and they weren't really told anything. And why is. But this is like 20 years in the future. Shouldn't they have everything a 0% chance of winning? By the way, 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Yeah, I'm going to talk later about how Shinji did nothing wrong and how they're just being douches to him. But like I said, like in the original, a lot of the mystery was there because it was supposed to be kind of ambiguous, etc. There was supposed to be, I don't know, it was just not that important. Like I think explaining what exactly the angels were would have kind of ruined it. I mean, I have my own theory as to what the angels were, which maybe I'll talk about later. But like, it didn't really require an explanation. That was kind of part of it. It was also supposed to kind of be saying that the angels weren't really what was important. What was ultimately important was the internal conflicts of the conflicts of the yeah. Yeah, but now we've gotten rid of all that, and now it's just my point. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by the movie, which I should be watching. But like now it's not that it's trying to be mystical or profound or anything. It's just laziness because this has become like more of a conventional like generic anime movie or generic action movie. So yeah, no, it isn't. I also hate how they made this harem pairing because Asuka is pretty obvious was pretty obviously his love interest in the original, and Ray was kind of just some creepy girl. But now we have Mari. Now we have what's her name? I don't know. Stuff. We need more stuff. Stuff, stuff. Build stuff. Okay, so Shinji has like overcome his personal failings, and he's like, I want to pilot, I want to save humanity, I want to help. And they're like, no, we aren't going to let you help, even though you're the Messiah. Okay. So they all just went away for no reason. They're angry at Shinji for no adequately explored reason. I mean, they were cheering him on at the last movie. They were like, go ahead, Shinji, you're doing the right thing. So he did what everyone told him to do. And because he did what everybody told him to do, he's hated by them. I mean, how the fuck is he supposed to know? He's a 14-year-old kid who's dealing with like metaphysical shit that adults with PhDs can't understand. But no, we're gonna blame him for everything. What the fuck? were cheering at the end of 2.0. Like, I don't know, but I don't understand how Shinji could have possibly known the like his actions. Like, no one told him. And it's bullshit anyways. Why is it all over? Yeah, Misato cheered him on. Yeah, I'll talk about Shinji a bit more later. I just haven't really had a chance to talk about him yet. I'm just kind of reacting to this bullshit. Okay, so they're just blowing stuff up for no reason. So they have like a fleet of ships in a pond. That makes sense. That's not a vulnerable target at all. What's even happening? We're 20 minutes into this movie and nothing's happened yet, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely nothing has happened. Like, this is disappointing. I was hoping this to be like epic shit, but so far it's just a snooze fest. It's just like Guilty Spark is saying, it's just a CGI wank fest. It's just them going, look at our computers. Stuff, technical readouts, stuff. We need more stuff. Get some more military stuff. It's gonna fly. We're gonna stuff. I don't know. The original series made way more sense than that. Like, at least in the original, I could tell what was going on. Like, some of the background and lore questions were never answered, but, like, you could at least follow the basic story. Like, here, I have no idea, like, what any of this is, who any of these people are. Like I said, this whole thing is just a massive troll. This whole thing is just one huge troll because it's called You Cannot Redo, but this movie is basically a reboot. So it's like you cannot redo, but this movie is a redo. It doesn't make any sense. So it's like an Ava that's also a ship that doesn't require an Ava to pilot? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this thing? It looks like a Pokemon. It looks like a Kyogre from Pokemon Sapphire. What? Something just hit it? Who is that random Indian bitch? Haul them out of the camouflage cocoon. Did she actually say that? So we're like going into detail about this ship that we don't know what it is. Like, ladies and gentlemen, we are now officially 22 minutes into this movie and nothing's happened yet. I mean, for fuck's sake. You obviously had a budget. I mean, to like quote Plinkett, art from adversity. The original Leva TV show had a tiny budget, nothing worked, but it was a great TV show. Now they have all this money and they just blow it all on CGI wankery. When are they going to realize that cluttering up the shot with shit isn't what makes Ava good? It's about moments like Kaworu talking about yours is not the existence should die, and not giant flying whales. It's moments like where Ray smiled for the first time, not when Asuka rides a Saturn V into orbit. What is this? What the fuck is this? Is this like dandelions? Is that an angel? Is that an Ava? AP rounds? I know, but AP rounds aren't going to work. If it's an angel, then conventional guns are going to hurt it. Well, I'm sure that that's going to be followed through. I mean, I guess extremely powerful weapons can damage it, but these aren't even. Like, is that an angel? Like, what the fuck? What was. What? Now there's an ocean? Like, I don't know. If, for those of you who are watching this with me, there was. Wait a minute. It just showed all the ships floating in the sky. Weren't they in a pond? Now there's an ocean. Now they're just all flying. So all the ships are apparently flying. How? How were all the ships flying? And what happened to the big salt plane that covered the world like Mad Max? What the fuck? So is there like some big AT field that like is surrounding it? Like is the ship projecting an AT field that allows it to fly? By the way, everybody, it's now at 25 minutes. Why? Uh-huh. Why is his thing synchronization rate 0? What punishment for what? $26. Why? Thank you, Shinji. Yes, exactly. It's like Shinji's right here watching us with it. It's been 14 years. So is Asuka his canonical love interest in this? Yeah, Shinji's the only person who's acting like a normal human being. He's like, hey there, Asuka. You're my friend. Why is she wearing a Catgirl hat? That's like not in her character at all. Why is her plug suit taped together with duct tape? Well, it kind of is his business. The curse, is that like the curse of the thought? Someone's got to tell us what's going on. It doesn't matter. Wait a minute, she was a captain in the previous scenes, so now she's a colonel? Who would even promote her? What? Hey, it's his Sadat player. Wait. What? The timestamp is currently 29 minutes. Mari's such a thought. She's like the sexy librarian thought, I guess. I don't even like know what's going on, but yeah. Why is she wearing like a cosplay hat? Okay. What the fuck? Why does he look like Bongo Bongo from Ocarina of Time now? Why? Yeah, fuck this shit. I'm going home, guys. Shinji's like, screw you guys, I'm going home. No one is like explaining anything. Misato is not activating the kill switch for some reason. Mari's being like ambiguously a lesbian. Why does she have like this paint? I don't fucking. None of this makes any sense. So I don't think they have batteries anymore. Do they not have what the hell? I mean, previously when Avos could fly, they had wings. Now they have like transforming rockets? That's something kind of clear. Except she won't use the choker for some reason. Uh-oh. Too bad that thing is such a short range. What does that even mean? Okay, everybody. So we are just coming up at 33 minutes. And look, Kaworu was creepily watching him as he slept. Oh no, it's not Kaworu, it's Ray. Hey, Ray. Yeah, Masato lied about a lot of stuff. So yeah, once I get to Quiet Pot Tart, I'll talk a bit about Shinji. This is awkward. Remember when I saved the world? Can I get a kiss at least? Could you maybe go out on a date with me? I mean, like, kind of saved your life. Little appreciation here. I love how Shinji is like you don't even need to narrate this commentary. Shinji just does the narration himself. He's just like, what the fuck's going on? Why won't anybody explain anything to me? Like, Ray, tell me what's happening. Masato, tell me what's happening. Why can't I pilot Unit 1? So, I mean, this is kind of cool art design right here. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but it's pretty neat, pretty neat. I mean, the CG actually looks pretty good here. I'm shocked that she wasn't lying either, Shinji. So, I mean, this is my issue with Shinji. People are just unfair to him. I mean, they draft him into the army basically. Like, Shinji, pilot this billion-ton death machine and use this billion-ton death machine to fight Lovecraftian horrors. And after you do that, you got to get into it. And Shinji's like, could you like give me some instructions, maybe like how do I use this complex control scheme? Like, sorry, Shinji, we can't tell you how to use it. Hey, it's Gendo. He's got his spiffy new shades. Get it? 13? It's the unlucky number. Wow, that's yeah, it's like Shinji's doing the commentary for me. He's like, what the fuck's going on? I'm surrounded by a bunch of weirdos with personality problems. Yeah, so they make Shinji pilot the billion ton death trap, and then they just make him fight angels with like minimal actual training. They don't explain shit to him, and they put him with like a grossly irresponsible adult who uses him like a slave and probably a sex toy, aka Misato. And then they put him with Asuka, who's also abusive. And between that, his cold douchebaggy father, um, Ritsuko, who's a sociopath, Ray, who has schizoid personality disorder. I mean, you gotta wonder how the guy turned out as normal as he did. I mean, Shinji was just like, I think why people hate him is because he acted kind of like what a normal 14-year-old would in that situation. He was just like, guys, could you maybe explain like what's going on? Like, why am I having to pilot this death machine against these Lovecraftian horrors? He's like legitimately afraid of piloting an Evangelion when he feels all the pain that the Evangelion feels. So, so Sounds like Zelda music. It sounds like the Sacred Realm music. Exactly. I'm wondering that too. But yeah, so Shinji goes through all this shit, and he tries to save Rei in a situation that no one explains to him, and like no one like even really knows what's going on. And they're like, Shinji, it's your fault, even though the people with PhDs didn't like give you good advice. It's still your fault because you're a 14-year-old boy who had to go through all this crap. No, it's not. What is a book? What is like? What the fuck? Hey, we have Sele. Cool. How is he still alive? Yep, because I'm a pussy. But he was like 80 in the last movie. He should be like 90 something now. I think it's just out of battery, Shinji. Shinji's like, fuck it, I should blow up the world again. Everyone in this planet's a fucking cunt to me. You know what? Like, if Shinji did decide to blow the world up again, I can't really blame him. Everybody's, like, just been a complete douche to him this whole movie. They haven't explained anything. Like, he's trying to be nice, he's trying to give the girl books. 41 minutes, by the way. Look, he got her some books. He's going outside to get some fresh air. He's playing with the flowers. I don't know. So what's even the purpose of the human instrumentality project at this point in time? I don't know. What does that even mean? Whoa, bad touch. God, that guy's creepy. If Kaworu was older, I'd imagine he'd be a pedo. I wouldn't want him around my kids. But yeah, I think when we talk about him as being the angel of free will, I think free will is the way he attacks his target. So what he does is he uses, by getting Shinji to kill him out of Shinji's free will, he succeeded in destroying Shinji mentally and physically to an extent that none of the other angels did. So in a sense, he was the strongest angel because he was the only one who was actually able to ultimately defeat Shinji. So he has this kind of sweet and innocent personality and appearance, but in actuality, he's kind of this satanic thing. And that's kind of like how the devil is supposed to be. The devil's not supposed to be like a red figure with horns, the devil's supposed to have a very appealing and non-threatening exterior. He's supposed to be a loved one. It's someone you trust. That's what makes his seduction so effective, more or less. So I think Kaworu is kind of an interesting satanic figure. I don't buy that he's like some really nice guy. Whoa, that was really creepy. Isn't it nice what two people can do? So, talking about Kaworu's sexuality, people think Kaworu's gay. I never got that impression. I mean, Kaworu is he's asexual. He's like a completely non-human entity. I think when he says he loves Shinji, he just means it in a non-sexual sense, like an agape sense or whatever. I think he just loves Shinji, but he's not. I've never seen any indication that he's gay. It just seems like something people read too much into. The point was not supposed to be romantic love. The point was supposed to be that Kaworu was the only person in Shinji's life who ever offered him real friendship or true romantic love. Sorry, not true romantic love, but unconditional love. Some of the chat says platonic. Yeah, I mean, Kaworu has pure unconditional platonic love for Shinji. Kaworu seems completely non-sexual. I mean, he's not even the same species as Shinji. Plus, Shinji's been shown to be completely heterosexual. I mean, we kind of have this idea that close relationships between males are always gay, and it irritates me. There are lots of times in history where men had very close relationships to one another, and there was nothing vaguely sexual about it. So I think Kaworu is just someone who is full of. I do think he's a satanic figure, but I think he presents himself as someone who just has an overabundance of love and compassion, and he's a giver, and Shinji needs it to kind of like a plant needs water. So okay, so just someone's asking why I think Kaworu is satanic. Because the devil is very seductive. Um, the devil is able to kind of hide his true purpose. Why I say satanic is ultimately his betrayal is what breaks Shinji. Nothing else can break Shinji. Angels that can blow the planet in two, angels that fall from heaven, angels that can mind rape. None of that succeeds in breaking Shinji. Shinji's able to kind of eventually power through all of them. But ultimately, the most destructive thing that could possibly happen to him, because, as I said, he is the Messiah, he has virtually limitless piloting ability, is for someone to offer him true love and then to have that love just pulled away. So I think that was Kaworu's agenda, was how he destroys his targets is by getting close to them, by offering his pure unconditional love, and then betraying them as a way of completely mentally crushing them. And I think that makes him a more kind of interesting and easier to understand figure, or more coherent figure. Oh, it's Toji's clothing. Uh oh. Yeah, your friends who completely double crossed and abandoned you. Everything changed, which is why this film is called You Cannot Redo. By the way, 49 minutes. Why is Shinji wearing a radiation suit? Well, this is not dangerous at all. This is the perfect use for humanity's last hope. We need this guy to save the world, but we're gonna have him walk in a radiation suit down a crumbling set of stairs by holding a chain. The moon became Hellraiser? The moon became Hellraiser. How? 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 How did he bring this about? Explain. It just happened because of plot contrivance. Well, it's not Shinji's fault. It's like the angel's fault and like the irresponsible adults. Yeah, he really can't. Well, it's not the truth. It's bullshit. Okay, well, that's like the first thing that kind of makes sense. So Kaworu is basically saying that they're using Shinji as a scapegoat for all of their bullshit. So Masato, Asuka, all those people like who are also responsible for this are basically using Shinji as their scapegoat. They're just saying, "Look, we get it. We know that we were responsible, but we're just going to blame Shinji for everything." And like half of this, like nothing's happened. We're almost an hour into this. Okay. Well, of course, telling him the life's work would help the audience. I can only like wonder how bad 4.0 is going to be. If this is the shit they came up with for 3.0, like I don't even know how they came up with this. Maybe like someone who hadn't seen the series came up with this. I don't know. Yeah, everybody treats him like shit. Wrong. Okay, so that really pisses me off. So So in the original one, Gendo was just completely and utterly in love with Yui to an obsessive extent, and he was so in love with her that, and he so wanted to get rid of his past that he took her last name, which is extremely unusual for a male to do in a patriarchal society, is to take the woman's last name. So she was Yui Akari, and Gendo took the last name Gendo Akari because of that. It's 57 minutes, by the way. So that was kind of like one of the most defining aspects of Gendo's character. He didn't tell him shit. I don't think so. Yeah, because that was like the most important aspect of Gendo's character, as I was saying. Shinji's finally snapping. I don't know what the fuck's going on. No one will tell me anything. I something I always kind of I found interesting in the manga was that Shinji was forced to live in his uncle's shed. His uncle made him like live in the shed and like refused to raise him at all. And part of Shinji's inferiority complex comes from that, just being completely unloved by his own family. I mean, Shinji has a lot of reasons for being the way he is. And that is 1 hour, 60 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We're 2/3 of the way through this travesty. Is that Unit 1? Cool, it's Unit 1. I thought Unit 1 was on the flying ship, but I guess Unit 1 was actually at Earth this whole time. Let us come, Adam's dark shadow, servant of the Lilin. By the way, I do know it was Unit 13. I'm just joking. Cuz Avas are that easy to just breed. No, you really can't, Shinji. Uh no. Why does he put it around his neck? I don't get it. Why didn't he just take it off and leave it off? What? When? What? How? Now, a dual entry system is kind of interesting. It would have been interesting in like the show, but here it's just like Otto was like, okay, nothing, nothing's happened for the last hour and 5 minutes or so, so we've got to come up with something cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like I just don't get a sexual vibe from their friendship. It just seems like Kwaru is someone who just wants to take care of someone, and Shinji's someone who wants to be taken care of. Why did they change it into like this super fancy like plasma entry system? What was wrong with just the traditional mechanical one? Is there even still LCL fluid? Where would they even get LCL fluid from? I thought Lilith was dead now. This movie's not even that long, but this is going to be an endurance run to get through the rest of this bullshit. This is kind of cool. This isn't a bad scene actually. I mean, I don't know what's happening, but yeah, it's not bad. I always liked Terminal Dogma. I mean, episode 24 is a masterpiece. It makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. But episode 24 was just awesome. Wow, that's actually like a decent reference um, to like when Shinji and Asuka synchronized using their the power of dance previously. The CG just looks like shit. Maybe I just hate CG. I much preferred the red fluid from the original. Why do we have like a whole bunch of stuff here? Okay, like this is kind of a cool scene. By the way, it's an hour and 7 minutes. Yeah, someone mentioned Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is obviously a ripoff of this of Evangelion. Now, what's his name claims he never saw Evangelion. Guillermo del Toro claimed he'd never seen it. He had no idea what it was, which is like the which was massive bullshit. Mark 6. Now, it's kind of cool that but wait a minute, Ray is that no, but that doesn't make sense. Ray is Lilith's soul that's been separated from Lilith's body. And and Kaworu is Adam's soul and Adam's body is elsewhere. So it doesn't make any sense. Now it's kind of cool that there's a second Lance. The Lance of Longinus was always like one of my favorite things in Evangelion. It just looks so badass, and the idea that it was able to kill everything in existence because it has Christ's blood on it was just awesome. And don't tell me that the Lance is a super weapon made by an alien species, or you don't get a pizza roll. This is so poorly animated. Like, I can't tell what the hell's even going on. Mari sounds like she's just talking like she's in a porno or something. Like, for whatever reason, they're trying to make her, like, out sexy Rei and Asuka, which is just kind of weird. Like, Mari is just in this to look like, to be fetish fuel for people who like the sexy librarian. So, Unit 2 just looks like shit. What are those things that are flying around? The Lilith. It's like poetry, they rhyme. This is exactly what happened in episode 27. Why is Mari a lesbian? Like, she keeps flirting with all the female characters and talking in this breathy voice like she's in a portal or something. And Asuka's just angry for no adequately explored reason. And now stuff is blowing up. Oh, timestamp is an hour and 12 minutes. So this movie's like almost over and nothing's happened yet. Like, my problem with Unit 13 is it doesn't have Yui's soul in it. Well, why don't they just stop the. Why doesn't he just stop moving the Eva then? So Kaworu's like, Shinji, get in the robot. Kaworu, get the spears. And it's like, Shinji, get in the Eva, get the spears. And then it's like, no, these aren't the spears, Shinji. And then Kaworu's like, no, I was wrong, Shinji. I was just joking. I just made it up. So it's become Shiva now? So he's doing this for Kaworu, despite the fact that Kaworu doesn't want him to do this. Why? So why did they tell him to do it if now he's not supposed to do it? It's like, Shinji, get in the robot, and now he's not supposed to get in the robot. Someone in the chat says, "Here comes the bullshit," implying that this wasn't bullshit this whole time. If Kaworu's not piloting, how can Shinji control four arms? Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter because they have the two lances. The lance of Longinus and the lance of Cassius should be able to just one shot it. I guess the question now is which is worse, this or the Ring City? Because I mean, the Ring City, I guess, had more good aspects to it, but it was a bigger fuck you than this was. Why is Mari drinking energy drinks? I'm gonna say Ring City was a bigger fuck you. I mean, there's a reason that my parody of it, which I should put back up, I had to take it down because of copyright strikes, but there's a reason that the Ring City was based on the end to Evangelion, like Shinji's rant. What? His father is the king of the Lilin? The ending and beginning are run in the same all's right with the world. Remember that from Into Evangelion? The time is hour and 16 minutes and 30 seconds. Why is he turning off Sele? So I think Sele. I think they're supposed to be fallen angels. The deicide? Oh, we're gonna bring in some good music. That'll make people forgive us for how shitty this is. So yeah, I think the implication was that Sele were fallen angels who gave technology and civilization to humanity. So we're at an hour and 18 minutes. Why does it even matter if fourth impact happens at this point in time? I mean, they're fucked anyways. There's only a couple humans left, and the world's completely ruined. They're gonna run out of supplies eventually, and then they're gonna be completely fucked. So we have like deicide. How is deicide happening? So we're at an hour and 19 minutes. What the hell is this? That's what I want to know. I mean, the original canon, Sele was the Illuminati, who wanted to kind of become immortal gods using like esoteric shit. The super whale. How did they know he was there? How did the ship get there so fast? What the fuck? I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to, like, even. I don't even know what to say of this level of bullshit. Like, now we have some more CGI wankery. Jeez, that super ship really sucks. Why is Sally showing up in Ray's? This whole movie is just a big troll. How? Why? Explain. Oh my god. Like, I knew this movie was gonna be bad. I knew this movie was gonna make no sense. I knew this movie was just gonna shit on the original franchise and just like be a big fuck you to the fans. I didn't realize it was gonna be this bad though. Well, I did, but I thought it would be less boring, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, I was expecting this movie to be a bit more like, I don't know, like more stuff to happen. But nothing happened in this movie. Why did Asuka become a werewolf? What the fuck? Is this become Beast Wars now? It's like beast mode. Unit 1 terror, Unit 2 terrorize. Unit 1 terrorize. It looks like it's gone like transmetal. So like the transmetal rain is the fourth impact and he's going to become like transmetal unit 2. What the fuck? It's a good question. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm stuck watching this piece of crap. Wow. I thought Asuka's eyes were blue though. Why are they green now? I mean, it was supposed to be Shinji's eyes are cobalt blue, and Unit and Asuka's eyes are sapphire blue. And I mean, people criticize the original show for making no sense. This is like this makes less sense than End Evangelion. End Evangelion, I hate to say, actually had like a coherent narrative. I mean, it was like Shinji's death, and then kind of his going through purgatory, and then kind of him coming to accept humanity as it was. So I think End Evangelion was like more thematically coherent than this. What? What does that mean? What? Shinji's narrating this movie. He doesn't understand either. In the next reboot. We'll meet again in the next reboot. It's like this dramatic moment, and then he just explodes in blood. Like, it's like, Shinji, I'll always love you. Splat! What? What? Save the princess? Do you mean Asuka or Mari or naive about what? What the fuck? Why is Mari coming at the last minute? And they blow up Mount Fuji. Very nice. What is that thing? Yeah. What a horrific mess. Almost certainly followed by Ano's designs. I don't like. I don't even know what to say. Like I said, I think End Evangelion is a lot more coherent than this. I mean, it at least like I think has narrative and kind of symbolic coherence. This just seems like they took a bunch of random shit and threw it together. I remember someone was giving a positive review of the first two Rebuild movies, and he said they're excellent examples of Japanese pop art. And I think that's a very good way of putting this. This is just supposed to be random shit. There's no story, there's no plot, there's no attempt to explain anything. It's just random crap. Come to her rescue from what? Well, he tried to save the world. Well, what is he supposed to do? He tried to get in the Ava. They told him to get in the Ava. Shinji is me. This is what the viewer was like at this point. They've just given up. They've just crawled into the fetal position, waiting for it to end. Hey, I'm still alive, even though my Ava got blown up in the previous scene. Wait, what? What? What's an L containment? Why does Asuka call them Lilin? Why is Rei here? Yeah, like I said, Shinji is the voice of the viewer. Like, I mean, that's kind of his purpose in general. But at this point, he's just like, what the fuck's even happening? He's just given up. He's just like, fuck it. I guess I'll let this, like, QT German girl pull me along. But, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I think, though, to be continued. To be continued in the fourth movie. Now, guys, I'm sure that the fourth movie is going to explain everything. That this film was actually genius, and it was setting it up for an epic conclusion that'll answer all of our questions. What Gendo said in the original will be answered. What happened in the sequels is going to be answered. Just everything is going to be answered, and it's all just going to be great. It's all going to be great. So, ladies and gentlemen, I made it through somehow. What the fuck was that? Why did they think that was a good idea? They literally, like, called this, like, this movie was one big troll. They literally called it You Cannot Redo, and this whole movie was just a redo. Like, they lied in the title. It's just, I don't understand, like, who thought this was a good idea? Who wrote this script? Who wrote this script and said, this is a good idea, let's make a movie out of it? I mean, this is really bad. And it's not, I just want to, like, say, it's not just that I dislike the creative direction or the script. I mean, there's a lot of other things to hate about this movie beyond that. It's boring, it's slow. It has, like, all the CGI wankery. There's no memorable dialogue in this movie. Like, there's nothing quotable about it. There's no pieces of wisdom. It's just literally, they're like, let's take some random shit, throw it together. I forget, this movie took a really long amount of time to make, too. All these movies took a really long amount of time to make. And with, like, complete creative control and with an unlimited budget, this is the movie that he was able to come up with. This was Anno's attempt at being original. Well, to quote one person in the chat, you either die or you either let your series die or you live long enough for it to become self-parody. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me in my descent into madness. Have a good evening, and hopefully I'll do some more live commentary tracks. This was a lot of fun. I think adding in the live chat will probably be cool when people are watching it. But yeah, talk to you guys later.